Hey folks, this is John Becker, Union Township trustee and former state representative from Claremont County, bringing to you the September issue of the Becker Report. And I have a draft of it right here. Hey, if you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do, and subscribe to the Becker Report. Go out to beckergop.com, just put in your name and your email address, and you will be subscribed. My contact information is also at the end of this video. And as I've been doing lately, a couple of bonus issues here. I have a clip from a trustees meeting about natural gas aggregation and another clip from that same meeting having to do with the concert series and the fireworks and the cost of all of that to you, the taxpayers of Union Township. So in the September issue of the Becker Report, what I start with is ballot issues 1 and ballot issues 2. So ballot issue 1 has to do with bail. That is, when a judge is setting bail for a criminal, that judge must consider or may consider the public safety issues when setting bail. The whole idea is to not let the bad guys get out of jail so easily, because people get killed. We have a crime problem and it is escalating. So this addresses that problem. So definitely vote yes on issue 1. Also with issue 2, that has to do with illegal aliens and other non-citizens voting in municipal elections. So in the Ohio Constitution, you must be a citizen to vote. In the state elections, also in the U.S. Constitution, you have to be a citizen to vote. So in federal and state elections, you're required to be a citizen. In local elections, where municipalities do have the authority under home rule to allow non-citizens and illegal aliens to vote. So this would be a constitutional amendment that says they cannot vote, they must be a citizen. So vote yes on both issue 1 and issue 2. So also in the Becker Report, then I have a number of clips in here or a commentary on the abortion issue. Then I get into the gun control issue. I've been hitting both of those lately for reasons I think we both understand. Also, then COVID. I keep finding more and more stuff on COVID. A lot of interesting articles. I link to everything in here if you want to be digging through this stuff and kind of consider it and see what you think for yourself. Then I have a Union Township update. Most of that was simply an accomplishment report, because I had somebody on social media ask me, so hey Becker, what have you done as a trustee for Union Township? So I started putting together a list, and I was actually going to run this several months ago, but the Becker report had been so lengthy with other issues. I just sort of just been kind of hanging on to and updating it periodically. So I got that in there now, and also Union Township, welcoming new and growing businesses. Most of that doesn't change from month to month. I keep making a few edits here and there as there are updates, and I'll continue to do that as well. So then the Becker Report closes with an event calendar. It's good if you want to know what's going on in the community. I have Video Central, so those are video clips. Most of them from PragerU. Those video clips that I find interesting, that you all might find interesting as well, so you can click and watch those. They're all brief videos for the most part, about 5 minutes. I have the Becker GOP YouTube channel. So, those are archives of this video and other videos that I've been making, associated with doing the Becker Report. And so again, at the end of this video is, if you want to keep watching here, it's 9 minutes of natural gas aggregation, a discussion at the trustees meeting, and then another 14 minutes of discussion about the cost of the concert series that we do and the fireworks in Union Township. So keep tuning in. If you want to watch both of those clips as well, they follow. And until then, I will see you next month and bring you the October issue of the Becker Report. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
The other big issue we've had coming up this month, and again, I will apologize again for being a little wordy, has been gas aggregation and energy aggregation for the township. If I'm going to take a minute, I believe residents should start, or if they've not already received, will be receiving letters about natural gas aggregation. By means of background, in 2015, voters of the townships approved an energy aggregation program. The idea is that we can get better prices for residents as a group than would be available to people going out to the market individually. That program, as it was approved by voters, is an opt-out program. This means that as a township resident, you're included in the program until and unless you choose to opt out. The township then works with an energy consultant. In this case, we work with Energy Alliances, a Cincinnati-based company. They go out and help us in the market negotiate the best parts of the energy costs that we can. They come back and help coordinate our program. We've been working this way since 2015. Like many other things in 21 and 22, prices have gotten out of control in the energy market. So as we worked through that, the decision was to let the previous program expire and then look to renegotiate those contracts as they became appropriate. The idea was if energy aggregation couldn't save you on the rates that you get from Duke, it's no point to get that program started again. So we were working with Energy Alliances, and they have negotiated a natural gas aggregation. It's important to note this is not electric, it is just natural gas that you are receiving letters about now. We will look at electric a little later, I believe in the spring, as the timing gets better to get a better rate. Residents should start to get letters if they've not already. They went out from August 26th and will continue through September 16th, depending on when your meter gets read. You will not get a letter if you have already been out shopping on your own, and have entered into an alternative supplier for your natural gas, or you've opted out of the program already. If you'd like to go into the Union Township program, there's a spot on our website where you can get the number to call. My only warning is if you're in a private program, make sure you are aware of what any termination fees on a private program would be. Enrolling in this program does not change your energy service. You will still receive a bill from Duke. You still use Duke to report service problems, gas leaks, billing problems, meter readings, etc. What this does is affect a very specific rate on your bill called gas cost recovery. When you enroll, it can take a month or two to enroll and start to see the billing details change, but you will see a slightly different change on your bill. On your bill, there's a separate section for Duke charges related to the delivery of gas to your home. So that's the lines, the infrastructure that are required to deliver gas to your home. What will change is the actual cost for paying for the gas or the gas supply. By choosing the aggregation program, you're working with an alternative gas supplier, or AEP is the company that we've negotiated with. You will see a change for the gas cost recovery, which is the exact gas usage you use. Supply in a month for gas is measured in hundreds of cubic feet, or abbreviated CCF. So you'll see on your bill and on your notices about the gas aggregation a price per CCF. Each month when your meter gets read, they determine how much gas you've consumed, and you get billed by that CCF rate. Without aggregation, the cost of the supply can change monthly and can be pretty volatile. For example, I believe last month Duke was quoting $2.278 per CCF. The township aggregation rate is 0.839 per CCF. The other benefit to aggregation is that is locked in through October 2024 meter reading, whereas just out at Duke it can change actually monthly, I believe. I know residents have had some questions. Please feel free to call up to the township. Also, we have links on our website for Energy Alliances as well as AEP to help answer any questions. Residents can reach AEP if they want to opt out at the telephone number 888-659-3888, or you can reach out to Energy Alliances with any questions you have. It's 1-800-735-0359 for Energy Alliances. And the website is up to date today about all the new information, and should be seeing some information on our social media and website about the aggregation program in general and talking about what the rates are. But just encourage everyone to pay attention to those letters because it is an opt-out program. You will be enrolled unless you take the step to call or return their mailing and get back to them with that way. And I think that is all I have at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ayers. Gentlemen, any comments or questions for Ms. Ayers?
Saw John's wheels spinning over there with questions. I think you answered it, so I was just going to ask, so with the Energy Alliance rate, it's 83 cents. Well, I'm going to round it up to 84 cents per CCF. What is it currently right now with Duke?
The last month I was able to check for Duke was 1.278, so it's about 40 cents-ish rounding difference.
Well done. Okay. Second thing I had was, I think, Mr. Becker, did you ask this question, or maybe it was someone for public comments, but I think it was you, about garbage? That was not you? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Have we
Not
thought?
tonight, in the past, we've
In the
talked about
past,
it.
so, yeah, so
Yeah.
any headway on,
Aggregation.
is it a smart move to kind of do something similar with trash pickup? Would it save the residents money?
I think there is a possibility. I will need to take some more time to look into it. We had some
Okay.
initial conversations with Solid Waste District to see if there was some possibilities, and we've looked at some recycling options, but I think it probably needs to be investigated more to see if it would be helpful.
Fair enough, okay. It just popped in my head as you were
Sure.
talking about this. That's all. Ms. Ayers, I know you're extremely busy, and I appreciate your hard work very much.
Problem.
And keep it rolling. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ms. Ayers, and I'm just going to add a touch on the garbage question. As you and staff research and take a look into it, it's my understanding that the history with the township and that has been, it's important to have communication with the residents and have the residents to understand. Because I believe the history there is that if it's been pursued or pushed in the past, it has been pushed back upon by residents because they felt that it's something that the township was forcing and not giving a choice to residents. So
Very good.
that's just, it always comes down to the ability to actually communicate and that we have that type of, which I know
Sure.
you're very good on.
Sure.
For how we receive input and hear from our residents. So, but just giving you that on your radar. Yeah, please.
Chairman. Yeah, I just want to go back to aggregation, make a couple of comments for the public. So I've called up a website, and I would encourage the public to do this. It's energychoice.ohio.gov. It's also known as the Apples to Apples website for Ohio utilities. And you can go on there and you can look up gas or electric and find out what the current rates are. So, to put it in perspective, if you're looking at today's Duke rate, it's actually $1.16. Our aggregation rate is 84 cents. The closest deals I can find out there, and our aggregation rate, keep in mind, is fixed for 24 months with no early termination fee. So if rates were to suddenly plummet, and you never know, you can get out of the aggregation, go do something different. The current rates out there, I see 79 cents, but that's fixed for 60 months, and there's a $50 termination fee. So that might not be a bad deal either to look at. So, most you can lose there is $50, and you're locked in for 5 years. So definitely consider that. There's also variable rates out there you might want to consider. But if you don't want to be, hassling with, juggling your utilities, doing this kind of research, my suggestion would be just take the aggregation deals. It really is a good deal.
Item Echo, the review of summer concert series and community events. Trustee Becker, discussion on 2022 summer concert series costs, fireworks celebration.
Sure. As the years have gone by, I've wondered, and other people have wondered, how much do we pay for all this stuff, whether it's the concerts or the fireworks and such. So as I like to do, kind of drill down and get to some of the detail and kind of pull back the veil a little bit and let people know. So I'll just start with the fireworks. That's kind of the quickest and easiest here. So Union Township, is investing $20,000 in that event. The partners with us to help cover some of the event costs are Jungle Gyms as well as Crossroads Church. So they're $5,000 each. So again, the township's in for $20,000, and we, just for the record, we are the sole sponsor of the fireworks. So the concert series. So, and all this kind of stuff, I really want feedback from the public. Is this something we want to continue? I mean, it's your money. Or do you want to do something different? I'm wide open, so, whatever you all want. So just to kind of, so go over the concert series. So what we did was, and apparently this was all set up last year, we contracted with Leroy Ellington Productions. And they brought in, or found for us, 7 different bands. So we paid Leroy Ellington $9,500. So just doing the math, $9,500 divided by 7, we're paying $1,357 per band of those 7. We had a total of 12 events. So those 7 bands were the Varner Netherton Revival, Strange Love, the Gamut, Model Behavior, Kevin McCoy Band, Tom the Torpedoes, and 3 Day Rule. Again, those are $1,357 each. The other events on here, you had, actually our most expensive one was the Billy Rock Band. And they were a good band. Unfortunately, we had a rainy day. There was maybe, I don't know, 6 or 8 people. Cost per participant was pretty high that day. So that was unfortunate. Our first concert was also rainy. I think there was maybe a dozen people that day. So, that's the risk you take when you're doing outdoor events. So the other concerts or events on here, we got the Cincinnati Shakespeare Company. That quote-unquote free event cost you $1,200. The cheapest ones, which based on attendance, I would say are the best deal. They're not the best attended, but if you look at the cost and cost per attendee, it's the best deal. That's a Cincinnati Brass Band was $600. The Monday Night Big Band was $840. The Sycamore Community Band was $400. So if you were to add in staff cost for these concerts as well, so that would be, the service department, they do a great job, setting up things, taking out the trash at the end of the night, that sort of thing. Justin doing the TV productions for us. That all was another, $7,800, it looks like. The 12 performances was $14,540, brought us to a grand total, around numbers, I'm just going to call it $22,800. So that was the concert series of 12 events, plus the staff cost, $22,400. And again, the fireworks show is costing us $20,000.
Question, was the 22,400 inclusive of that 9,500?
Yes,
So 9,000, so we're contracting out to Leroy Ellington LLC, $9,500.
Yes.
To book bands.
yes,
And these are bands that are community bands in my mind, we'll hear from the residents on this, but bands in my mind that we also compete for with, like a band that maybe booked at RJ's or, another restaurant or establishment around the township, not necessarily more of a national act or something more to spur community economic investment dollars being spent here, or people coming out to see from a bigger standpoint. So anyway, just wanted to hear that. You said, $600 bands, maybe $600, but when you factor in that fixed cost, $9,500 per band, I mean, over the cost of the band.
well, no,
I'm
to
just,
be clear,
the fixed cost overall, it's spread.
the 9,500 was the
Yeah.
cost for 7 bands.
Okay.
So that's a booker that then handles getting those 7 bands
Yeah,
together, and then they
more
pay
than
them that.
$1,000 a band for signing a contract. I don't,
So
I think that's something we need to look at moving forward. If that's been, I mean, I don't know how eclectic or nationwide this LLC is for that, but that's, that's kind of astounding, 9,500 as far as the value of return there, so, okay. And then the other thing you said was 22,400 then in total.
Yeah.
And I'd honestly put did you talk about, you were talking about a cost per attendee, but did you get to what you presume that cost is, or it's broken out between different events, or, because I view this from one segment too, I'm just gonna lead into this. I view it from a population standpoint, because I know, without a doubt, and this isn't just as just a fact, I believe that we attract the same population, probably plus or minus 10, 15%. You're probably 150 people plus or minus on a bell curve there. So it's really $22,400 grabbing an impact of 150 people, potentially the same 150 people. I'm just thinking about it from a data perspective versus 150 people times 12 events or however it may be, and you get to a bigger number. But if I go to every single show, it's my benefit, and that's great, but there are things to look at that brings in a better access to be able to get township services and a rapport with residents. If it's from bands to a national act to movie night to, this kind of discussion I've had personally with Susan in the past. So anyway, I think this is beneficial, your deep dive into this, so thank you.
Yeah, so also, and I was kind of looking, as I was initially looking at the numbers and asking myself, well, is that a good deal? It's like, well, what's that cost per person? Well, obviously, it depends on attendance. So if you say, if you take a, just kind of, you know, so how do you average in the two nights that it rained? I don't know. So if you take, say, 100 people per night, and one night I did actually sit there and count them, and I think it was like 130. I think it was a Shakespeare event. And that Shakespeare event is popular. It seems to be a little better populated than some of the other ones. But just if we even take the average at 100, you know, that's still coming out to like $18 per ticket.
Yeah,
I don't know what it costs to buy a concert ticket these days, but I'm thinking $18 is a pretty good deal, you know, per person that actually attends.
and
So,
then,
and it's up to the public to decide, you know, you tell us, is that
Yeah.
a good deal?
and I'll also caveat that too, as far as what the band is and who the band is, because if it's a band that you see for free while you buy a burger and fries or something that's somewhere, you know, locally, and it's a, you know, restaurant that's taking that cost, then they're doing an aspect of their business model to support their business.
Well,
So,
something to consider with all this is these bands, or in Shakespeare, I mean, they're bringing in people from out of town, at least some extent. While they're here, we're hoping they're shopping at, you know, Jungle Gyms or down at the RJ's, drinking a beer or whatever, that are spending money here in the community.
Yeah,
So, you know, the merchants appreciate that, of course.
right, right. Are we getting the biggest, the maximum, you know, return on investment there? Susan, I see you're nodding your
know.
head. You want to add a comment?
I was, yeah. You know, I think this is a great discussion to have. I think as we go through the winter months, we will finalize what we want to do for next year. I think these type of community events are frankly very important. You know, even if it's $18 an attendee or whatever, these types of events are important. It
Yeah.
keeps the community an option to get together. It gives us some, you know, events and things I think are important. But I do think there might be some ways to help modernize some of what we're doing. One of the things we've talked about, and I didn't mention the Parks and Recreation Committee is meeting tomorrow again. One of the things they mentioned is potentially we promote some events in the parks, movie nights in the parks, maybe trick or treat, you know, things like that. I would love to see some input from groups like that to be able to say, hey, what are some events that we think community members would like to go to? Maybe we don't do just 10 concerts or whatever it is every week in the summer, but we spread out more of a year's worth of community events. And it's some concerts here and there, it's some movies in the park, it's an Easter egg hunt for the kids somewhere. It's spreading out some more of those events to different locations, different areas, different times, and use some similar budget numbers, but spread it out in a different way. So if it's okay with you, I would love to talk to that group a little bit about some feedback. Also, if there are members of the public that would love to reach out to me, I'd love to hear it, talk about what you would love to see for community events. Do some outreach that way, and then we'll come back in the winter and have a discussion about what we want to see and maybe some planning for a better slate of events for the year.
That sounds great. I'm going to say, because it's on the top of my mind, as you're talking about the weather events and those issues, I think it's a great, you know, look and research it with staff, the pros and cons, but what's the flexibility there that if it's going to be a storm night, but there's a band booked, or there's an event booked, or there's something that's booked that's here, that people can either, one, be, you know, flexibly redirected to the gymnasium that we have, and use that as the civic center, and there's a concession stand in there, phenomenal. Or, I know from our discussions in the past with, my discussions anyway with Crossroads leadership, they want to see their building get used more and more and more. And I think there would be a great avenue. They've got stage quality, you know, production capabilities, and the parking lot's right here. So you still come to the same location, but there may be some signage up that says, due to the inclement weather, go down these steps and into Crossroads.
Great.
And stay, you know, stay dry. And, you know, I think that's a great way to just work with and collaborate with our partners.
Sure.
The resources that we have. Yes, Mr. Diz.
Ms. Ayers, I agree. We'll talk about this more in the months to come. But tell me if I'm wrong. I think, but with us, if we partner with a marketing company, but I think our marketing of these concerts is, I'm trying to think of a nice word to use. I just think it's kind of weak. Is that okay? So we Facebook, we have the scrolling marquee signs, and then we have the trifold signs, which, by the way, I get, oh, Joe Dills, are you playing in a band this weekend? What is this, you know? And I get this all the time. I think it should be the band and what genre of music, something like that. I don't necessarily need my name on these trifold signs everywhere. But just my personal thoughts. But if I'm going to go to a place that's got a band, I want food. And the food truck being 500 yards away, and I'm probably exaggerating, it's too far away. It doesn't make sense logistically. I think it needs to be down there, right there by the main drive. Let's put some electrical units in there to get those trucks hooked up. And then also, I personally, like, my kids hate it going to these concerts. I mean, just they hate it. And so, and I have to twist their arm to go with me because it's not fun for them. So definitely family movie nights, sporadically. And I think a one-time purchase of the screen and the projector, one time, purchase it, and then therefore it's, I don't want to say free, but it's free after that once we buy it. I mean, for the next several years, I mean, except for maintenance of the equipment. But, so, yeah, just a few ideas. And then, yeah, I'd like to see a bigger name, I mean, personally, I'd like to see less concerts and a bigger name, one bigger name instead of, just me personally, but public might disagree with me on that part. But family movie night is definitely huge, because I don't think kids really have a good time at these things. It's not really a family place, so, but, and ice cream truck too, so, for me, but, all good, that's all I got, sir.
Hey, no, those are all fantastic points. I mean, I'm with you on the signage. So, yeah, I think the staff research and look into that. That's obviously, this is a year where it's like the foundation was set previously, and it's just, but now we have an opportunity to seek engagement, get involvement from the residents, and be able to make some changes, and, build it one block at a time moving forward, which would be great. And I'm with you. I'm thinking the $9,500 is better well spent on administration booking bands, and then $9,500 going into promotion, and paid for channels at least to get the return there versus a production to sign those bands. No, that's great. So thank you.